Okay, on the seventh and last of the Hermetic principles that we're going to very briefly talk about, this is the principle of gender. And up front, I want to say this is not about gender in the biological sex category, but more of the energetic qualities of masculine energy and feminine energy and how they balance each other to enable creation. When we think about having both sides of masculine and feminine together, I want you to think of this as that we need certain energetic aspects of the male energy to do certain things, but to really fully complete whatever it is that we're wanting to do or have or be, we also need that feminine energy. Here's an example. Masculine energy may be the impulsive part to come up with this new idea. You've gotten this new idea, maybe it's about a business, maybe it's about a book you're going to write, whatever it is. That's that masculine energy, that impulse, that drive to here it comes. But you also need to balance that out with the feminine energy, which is the nurturing, the giving birth to the idea, if you will. So if you have an idea that I'm going to write a book about success principles for people with dyslexia, and you have that idea, that's that, wow, that creative, intense, fiery male energy coming in there, you know. But to get that idea through the stages of writing, of developing, and all that, to nurture that idea, to help keep that idea metaphorically in the womb to let it grow to what it finally comes out, you have to have the feminine energy. So that combination of masculine and feminine is crucial because you cannot complete tasks, you cannot create things in your life if you don't have both. So, for example, how many times have you heard of the person who's just the big idea person, but they don't have any follow through? Or the person who will follow through and work tirelessly, but yet they lack the ability to be creative and come up with the ideas. So sometimes when people are like that, you have to kind of pair them up in a work environment so things can get done. But in yourself, we all have that masculine energy. We all have that feminine energy. And by acknowledging that and bringing it in, we can have a more productive and whole experience. So, for example, some things, masculine energy, we would say, would be action. But yet, action in of itself is not strictly a masculine quality. As I mentioned, the nurturing, that quality is an action. So it's that balancing of the action of the male and the female that helps give a birth to the ideas and the drives that we have. When you're in communication with people, if you're from that male energy, maybe you're more direct, maybe you're more intense. Whereas the feminine energy, you're more connective, you're more listening and kind of engaging back and forth. So there's a time for both of those. And when you're able to seamlessly move between those and incorporate both of those together, you find that you have the ability to start creating your life, with a little less stress instead of trying to, constantly drive yourself to exhaustion to complete something. Maybe to balance it out with having those reflective times where you sit back and you take a break and you think about the big picture. So having both of those qualities are really essential to these acts of creation. So you think about this with the other principles, where this has been a total of 7 principles. As you kind of blend these together, you get the idea of how that we as human beings can start to generate our lives. And because that's the Latin for gender, is to generate. So when this is the principle of gender, it's the principle of generation. How do we generate these experiences? How do we generate, much the way a male and female will generate a child? It's how do you generate what's on the mental plane onto the physical plane, and it's the balance of both of those energies. So I hope this brief little introduction to these Hermetic principles was helpful if you haven't heard of them. Each of these, like I say, you could do a couple of hours on each one, but just by kind of introducing you to them and giving you some real world example, maybe that helps stimulate your thinking a little bit. If you find these videos valuable, please feel free to subscribe to stay up to date on my latest work and the things that hopefully you and I are both interested in. So thanks for watching.